What is going on, YouTube? And coming back today with my East Carolina Pirates football preview for 2016. So talking about a team that went 5-7 overall, 3-5 in conference, good for 5th in the American Athletic Conference East Division last year. So start with the first of my three key players, and I'm going to start with the Minnesota and Rutgers transfer, Philip Nelson. So Philip Nelson, a quarterback or transfer quarterback, coming in, expected to be the starter for this year after Kurt Bankert transferred to UVA. Um, you know, East Carolina, a team that really switched between two quarterbacks last year predominantly in James Summers and Blake Kemp. Now, Nelson is going to have to be able to reignite a passing game that really hasn't been. I mean, granted, it's only 2 years removed, but really since Shane Carden and Justin Hardy left. So, getting to my second key player, moving over to the wide receivers, and I got Isaiah Jones. So, East Carolina is actually pretty deep at wide receiver this year. Between Isaiah Jones, Devon Grayson, Quay Johnson, they got a lot of depth at wide receiver. Isaiah Jones is one of the best receivers in the conference, too. Again, receivers are going to have to be big this year and helping out Philip Nelson to be able to get this passing game back on track. So my third key player is Corey Sargent. And really I can make my third key player the entire East Carolina secondary because they are very good. Corey Sargent and Deshaun Amos, two of the best corners in the American Athletic Conference, surrounded by two of the better safeties in the American Athletic Conference, too, in Trevon Simmons and Terrell Richardson. Trevon, the older brother of Travis that was back at East Carolina a couple years back. But anyway, this is a secondary that can do big things in the AAC in 2016. So my first X factor is the new head coach. So Scotty Montgomery comes in from Duke, and I'll be honest, it wasn't firing Ruffin McNeil. I don't know if that should have happened in the first place, but I don't think Scotty Montgomery was the best hire for the program. I feel like ever since Skip Holtz left, the program's kind of been going downhill with their head coaching hires. But again, can't really know until they're out on the field. Duke's been a very solid football program since David Cutcliffe took over and Scotty Montgomery was there with him. So we'll see what happens. So my next X factor, something I've been talking about a lot already, and that is the passing game. So with basically a new tight end, it's most likely Steve Baggett, a very deep set of wide receivers, and a transfer quarterback that does have potential. The passing game is, it has potential, but at the same time, also with the new coach, it also, you don't know how it's going to go. This was a team that was under the direction of Lincoln Riley on offense for a little while, and you see what he's doing now at OU. Talking about being one of the best coordinators in the country. They had, not to mention they had Shane Carden and Justin Hardy. Hardy now the all-time leading receiver when you're talking about receptions. So we'll see if it can improve. But my trap game for ECU, and I think it's going to be UCF. ECU last year, a team that, again, took a big step down after what was looking like it was going to be a very, very big 2014, which they still were pretty good. Last year, they were able to pull off some big wins. Tulsa, Virginia Tech, almost beat Florida. But anyway, UCF they were able to handle last year. It was on the road. UCF probably going to be a different team this year. Again, one of those teams I've mentioned for a couple different teams. I don't see them getting any worse because, I think they went winless last year. So, a game you got to pay attention to. So, my biggest game for East Carolina, again, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, so it's Temple. Former American Athletic Conference East Division champions, a team that East Carolina lost to in 2015 at home, a game that they will, I believe, have to go on the road for in 2016. So, East Carolina, a team that doesn't have as high expectations as last year, so we'll see. My record prediction for East Carolina fans, you're probably not going to be happy, but it's looking like a rough season in Greenville. I'm going to say you're going 3-9. Tough schedule. You're in a decent conference. And again, out of conference schedule's not doing you any favors. East Carolina team that does like to play a lot of competitive teams around the North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia area. Western Carolina, I think you start out with a win, but in conference, man, you're probably facing between USF, Navy, Cincinnati, UConn, Tulsa, and Temple. Oh, what is that? 6 bowl teams right there. So wins over SMU and UCF, I think, are on tap, but the rest of them you'll have to pull off an upset to get one of those. So that'll pretty much do it for my East Carolina Pirates football preview for 2016. Be coming back later with my App State football preview. So that's pretty much it. See ya.